Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Dewi Indriani and my student's number is 2021220063. I will explain about my research proposal entitled The Effectiveness of Teacher Oral Corrective Feedback on Improving Students' Pronunciation. Okay, without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, let's move on the background of the study or what motivated me to choose this topic to be the research title. Speaking ability is an important aspect that must be mastered in learning a second language. And to be successful in mastering speaking English, correct pronunciation must be mastered, and in learning English, students must pronounce the phoneme properly with the correct intonation and stress. Then, I found an issue that is during a speaking class, a teacher never gives feedback regarding students' pronunciation errors. This problem is also one of the factors why students' pronunciation is not good. Why is that? Because if the pronunciation error is not justified, it will become a habit that will be continuously carried out by students. Based on this issue, the researchers is interested in finding a solution so that students do not continue to make pronunciation errors so that they can speak well. And in this case, the researchers want to apply a strategy that can be used to correct students' pronunciation errors. The name of the strategy is Teachers Oral Corrective Feedback. Oral corrective feedback can be used to address this issue and can help students improve their pronunciation skills. This strategy is considered by researchers to give a positive impact on improving students' pronunciation skills. That is the way the researchers is interested in carrying out the study with the title The Effectiveness of the Teacher Oral Corrective Feedback on Improving Students' Pronunciation at Social 11th grade students of SMAN 1 Jenggawa. Okay, and based on this background, I found the formulation of the problem, that is, if the teachers correct students' pronunciation errors orally, how effectively will this improve their pronunciation skills even better? Okay, then move to the next slide. This is operational definition. For the first one is pronunciation is a method that we use and learn to produce coherent sound. And the second is oral corrective feedback or OCF, referring to comments on the appropriateness or correctness of learners' production or comprehension of a second language orally. And the purpose of this study is to find the effectiveness of using teachers' oral corrective feedback on improving students' pronunciation in Social 11th grade students of SMAN 1 Jenggawa in the academic year 2022 and 2023. Okay, meanwhile, the significance of the study is suggested that the result of the study could be the teacher consideration in providing corrective feedback in the speaking class, especially in correcting pronunciation, which the teacher can use it orally. And next is theoretical framework. For the first one is the aim of the teaching and learning English pronunciation. This is in point 8, functional intelligibility, developing spoken English that is easy to understand for listeners. And point B is functional communicability, developing spoken language that meets communicative needs. And in point C, increased self-confidence, developing a positive self-image. And the last one is speech monitoring abilities and speech modification strategies that will permit learners to develop intelligibility, communicability, and confidence outside the class. And for the objectives of teaching and learning pronunciation, and point 1 is to develop English that is easy to understand and not confusing to the listeners. And in Point B, develop English that meets learners' needs that leads to communicative competence. Point C is assist learners feel more comfortable in using English. And point D, develop a positive self-awareness as non-native speakers in oral communication. And the last one is develop speech consciousness, personal speech monitoring skills, and speech adjustment strategies that aid learners develop in and out of the classroom. And the second is significance for teaching and learning pronunciation. English pronunciation is a necessary part of language learning. Therefore, both teachers and learners should pay particular attention to the process of teaching and learning pronunciation. If their pronunciation is poor, it has a negative impact on their language skills. And poor pronunciation results in misunderstanding and spoiled communication. And the third is oral corrective feedback. Oral corrective feedback is often provided in the form of sentences that describes the various weaknesses of a learner as well as highlight the strengths. And there are several ways to do teacher oral corrective feedback. That is, the first one is performing cognitive comparisons. And the second is correction through the form. Students are asked to read the sentence, then later the teacher writes the correction in the form and conveys it to students orally. And third is repeating sentences. And as you can see on the screen, we will discuss research method. The researchers use a quantitative method in this research, which uses a survey design. The researchers will distribute a questionnaire that has been prepared to be filled out by EPS 3 students to find out students' perception of oral corrective feedback from the teachers in improving their pronunciation skills. And after the students finish filling out the questionnaire, they would like to know whether the oral corrective feedback from the teacher in improving students' pronunciation was effective or not based on students' answer. So later it will be known if many students choose to agree, then this strategy can be effectively used in English class by the teachers, and vice versa. Next, we will continue to discuss the population and sample use. The sample of this research were taken by using purposive sampling techniques, and the population of this research is the students of Social 11th grade of SMA 1 Jenggawa, one social class or EPS 3 consisting of 36 students consisting of 18 male students and 18 female students were taken to conduct this research. The reason I chose this sampling technique and chose EPS 3. The reason I chose this sampling and chose EPS 3 to be sample is because I think this class that can most easily provide information. Why? Because I have a connection in the class so that it can make it easier for me to retrieve data quickly. And we continue to data collection. The researchers used a survey questionnaire in the form of a Google form to collect data. So the reason the researcher uses a questionnaire in the Google form is because it makes it easier for me to collect data, because it's impossible for researchers to ask everyone in the sample, right? So students are given 15 minutes to answer 10 questions on a 5-point Likert type ranking scale that has been designed by researchers in the questionnaire. The ranking scale used is 5 points starting from strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. The data obtained were then collected by the researchers in answer sheets for analyzing the data. And this is 10 questions. The question in Google form was adapted in Sakir Logo in 2020. Okay, for the last one is data analysis. The data were analyzed using IBM's SPSS Statistic 22. The data collection that has been collected is then arranged using descriptive statistical analysis. The data obtained were processed using statistical procedures such as mean and standard deviation. The purpose of analyzing the mean is to find out how many students agree or disagree with the question, while the standard deviation is analyzed to find out how many students deviate from the answer from most of the answer on the data obtained from the mean. The way to group them is by using a histogram table of frequency table data. Okay, these are some references that I use. Okay guys, that's all about my research proposal. Thank you for your attention and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.